So we'll be moving through a balance practice today, and we have a few more cat-and-cows. Inhale, belly down, heart forward. Exhale, round it up. Inhale down. Exhale, round. And please find neutral spine, and spin your fingers backwards as much as you can. This may not be tolerable for everybody, so if it's not tolerable for you, just spin your fingers to the sides. And with your fingers pointing to the sides or to the back, as you inhale this time, I'd love for you to round your spine. And as you exhale, you can even stick out your tongue, look forward. Inhale and round. And exhale forward with or without lion's breath, belly down. And inhale round, feel the back body just stretch out by expanding with breath. Inhale to center. We'll take the fingers back forward. Again, use your blanket as cushion for your knees, because now we're going to end up on one knee. Please pivot on your left leg, so your left knee, your foot's going to go off the side of the mat, and your right foot's going to go behind you. I'd love for you to reach your right arm to the sky. If you feel steady here, lift your back leg. Your back foot floats up off the floor. And if you still feel steady, come onto your left fingertips. So solid reach, fingertip to fingertip. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Right hand down, right knee down. Pivot on your right foot so that the foot's a little bit off, or pivot on the knee so the foot's off the yoga mat. Stretch the left leg behind you, and first just enjoy your stretch. Zipping up through the midline, float your left foot up off the floor. And if you're comfortable here, come onto your right fingertips. So gorgeous balance, gorgeous reach, fingertip to fingertip. Exhale and down, back to center. You're going to reach the right leg straight behind you and stretch out through the calf. Curl your toes under, press through your hands. Get this luscious calf opening. Draw the front hip points up. Float your leg up so that you're working glutes. And reach your left arm, your opposite arm forward. So in physical therapy, we call this a bird dog, this exercise. And whatever you call it, it looks much simpler than it is, and especially when you hold it for longer, it ends up being a really good challenge. I want you to embody the qualities of plank here, the broadening of your low back, your low ribs, the engagement of your glutes, strong, powerful back leg, and energy out through your front arm. And then lower your left hand. You can pivot on your left knee again a little bit, but try to just shift your weight a bit to the left and do a fully one-sided bird dog. So right arm and right leg are back. You can press on the imaginary gas pedal with your right foot. Feel all those muscles burning on the left side, just activating stability muscles. And then slowly lower down, shake it out, shake out your tail. We'll take it to the other side. So shift onto the right knee, stretch your left leg back, press through that heel, get a nice calf stretch. Float the foot up. Find the plank-like quality through the core, and then take your opposite arm forward. It's usually around 5 to 10 seconds that this starts to get to be a good challenge. Lengthen, engage, reach. And then lower your right hand. Keep the left leg up. Try to shift your navel, your belly button to the right. By the way, it's totally okay for your hips to stack a little bit here, but aim to keep yourself in that plank-like shape. And if reasonable, set your left arm forward. You might want to pivot on your right knee again to make that a bit more accessible. Body the plank, lots of energy. Gas pedal your back foot. And then lower down through your hand, lower down through your knee. Shake it out again, little left and right. You're going to curl all of your toes under, including the pinky toes. Knees wide, set your feet back or your hips back towards your feet. And just shift a little side to side. Walk your hands back a little as well until they end up under your shoulders. I want you to look over your right shoulder and over your left shoulder. Over the right and over the left. Keep getting this nice little thoracic rotation. Good for your vestibular system. This action is really good for your vestibular system, integrating all of the moves that are useful for our eyes, ears, vision, brain processing. And then walk it right back out to a long table pose so that you can rise up to downward facing dog. Warm up your legs by bending one knee fully. And then the other. We're going to walk the hands all the way back towards the feet. Take a little bend in your knees, grab hold of your elbows and shake out your head. Shake it out left and right. You can sway a bit side to side. Keep this bend. Hands to your knees. Scoop through the belly. Rise up so that your head is the last thing to come into place. Stand on your left leg and leave the wall. You can reach out, put a fingertip on the wall, but draw your right knee up and then hug your right knee to your chest. We're going to take a nice little leap with the right foot. So try to step long here. Draw the right hip back, left hip forward. Sit down, reach your arms out for crescent lunge. We'll start this pose with the back leg straight. But I'd like you to bring your hands over your chest, hands to the knee, and lower the knee down nice and slow. If the blanket's still there, go for it, use it. Maybe on the way back up, go hands free, straighten your back leg. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge again. And then lean forward 45 degrees. Bring your hands to your back knee. Come into your back tiptoes. If this is a good challenge for you, stay here. You're also welcome to float your back foot a little bit off the floor. Lots of balance challenge. Lower the back foot down. Raise your arms. Exhale to downward facing dog. Set it back. Shift your hips side to side. My right hip feels so warm right now from all of that motion. So just notice the difference, right side versus left side. Kindness is everything, so we're just paying attention to the ways in which we can be kinder to that which is in this moment. Once you walk your hands to the back of your mat, grab hold of your elbows again, but grab hold in the way that feels really bizarre, like really foreign to your body. Shake out your head, bend your knees, sweep a little side to side. And we'll release the elbows and rise back up. You can use your front body muscles to rise up and come up vertebra by vertebra. This is great if you don't have anything going on in your low back. You can also use the same front body muscles and come up like a unit, like a straight spine. So whatever works for you. You're going to stand on your right leg, draw your left knee in. You can embody the plank-like quality of standing here as well. left foot forward, nice big leap. Inhale, rise up into crescent lunge. Back leg is straight, sink your hips, reach through the arms. Hands down to the front knee, and slow motion lower your back knee down. You can keep your hands here, or you can go hands free and rise it back up. Crescent lunge. Please bring your hands to your chest, lean forward 45 degrees, and root your hands onto your front knee. You're going to use your back foot like a gas pedal, coming to the very tip of the tiptoe, and either stay here or float your back foot up a little bit. This is a little bit like Warrior 3, but much harder. And what I like about it is that it's actually a really, you can use Warrior 3, you can lower your back foot down. You can use Warrior 3 in real life as well. Raise it up to crescent lunge. For example, like if you want to pick up something off the floor, sometimes we'll do that same Warrior 3-leg shape with our legs. But this one, with the knee bend, it makes the muscles work a lot more rather than just hinging at the hips. That's why I like that. So from crescent lunge, please take your hands down to the floor and set your front foot to the back. Lower down the table pose again. And have your blocks closer towards the front edge of the yoga mat. You're going to shift the hips a little bit side to side. Pivot on the left leg. Come onto the right fingertips. Reach the right leg back and then just open up straight into that sideways balance. So if you feel a lot of little wobbles here, I invite you to stay right here. And if you want a little bit extra challenge, bring your elbow to your knee and then reach it back out. Elbow to knee and reach nice and slow. Third time's the charm, elbow to knee. Lower your hand, lower your knee. Take your knees nice and wide, curl all of your toes under, and sit back. Make this an active child's pose this time. What many of us will be feeling is a big stretch along the soles of the feet. If your toenails are up towards the sky, you got your pinky toes curled under. That's what you feel. We're going to take the balanced shape to the other side. So shift forward. Reach your other leg back. Come onto your left fingertips and kind of immediately come into the balanced shape. You can pivot on your standing knee again as much as you need to get a little sturdier. Try lifting your back foot just a little bit higher. If you are getting lots of good wobbles here, either at your shoulder or your hip, stay here. If you want to add a little bit extra challenge, elbow to knee, and reach. Elbow to knee, and reach. Elbow to knee. Lower your hands, lower your knee, take an active child's pose again. Notice that you're already in downward facing dog from your fingertips out through the hips. So the arms, the hands, the length of the spine. You're pushing the floor away, so all you have to do is rise up to downward facing dog. Please walk your feet all the way to the front of your yoga mat. I'm turning around again, so I'll be doing my blocks. If your blanket is on your mat, you can move it off to the side. And let's set the blocks up in the tall position towards the front of the mat. Rise onto your tippy toes. Squeeze your heels together. So actually start with your big toes touching like that. And then rise up and squeeze your heels together as well. Come onto your fingertips and lean forward. Draw your belly in. To trust the weight in the toes, hugging the inner heels. Light weight in your hands. And sink it down. Bring your big toes together. Squeeze your legs, thighs up into chair pose. Press your palms together with your heart. Let your hips move a little right and a little left. So if you're squeezing your legs together, then this is going to be a lot like, I don't know, skiing or something. You're working on the stability that you might need in your lower half to do those kinds of winter sports. We're going to bring the hands, keep the knees bent, but bring the hands right back to the blocks and come onto your tiptoes. And you can stay here, or you can go hands-free. Balance inside of chair pose. All the little shaking around the ankles and the feet is good. Lower the heels, lower the hands. Fold forward into Uttanasana, your forward standing fold, and just enjoy it. Again, you can grab hold of your elbows, bend your knees as much as you'd like, shake out your head. Set your blocks now behind you. You can set them up a couple high. And you'll have your feet wider than hip distance now. We're going to lower down just into a nice little squat. If you know you don't need the blocks, you don't have to use all of them or any of them. So if you are comfortable on one block, you can go down to one block. If you're comfortable on 0 blocks, you can go down to 0 blocks. I'm going to turn to the side again so that you guys can see. But from here, from this malasana, this deep goddess squat position, I want to focus on the mobility of our toes and the balance and control, which you can do with or without your fingers on the floor or the block in front of you. So the idea that I want us to be able to lower the knees down in front and then come back. It's a little tricky. Grab your blanket if you need it for under your knees. And the way to use the fingers on the block would be just reach for the block and use that to slow yourself down. Aim to get about 5 of these, forward and back, trying to get the knees to touch at the same time. And of course, if there's any pain in your knees, you can either stay in malasana, or if even malasana hurts you, another alternative that is excellent is being here. And this usually will relieve the worst kind of knee discomfort that comes from malasana. So last one, haven't yet got your 5. Rock back. And then use the strength of your legs to simply rise, rise, rise. Okay, let's settle the props off to the side again. Blocks somewhere near the front of the mat. And then from the front of the mat, please bend your right knee, stand on your left, spread your toes, bend your right knee, and maybe catch your foot. Squeeze the thighs towards one another. Look through the heart, squeeze your shoulders back. Pull your front hip points up so it becomes a bit of a core shape. And point your knee straight to the floor. Thigh moves back even a little bit more. Release. We'll take it to the other side. So stand on the right, spread the right toes. Catch hold of your left foot. Squeeze the thighs together. Pull the front hip points up. Kind of like you're taking the belly that loves to go out and drawing the front ribs, the low ribs, and the front hip points towards one another. Honestly, just bringing the thighs parallel here is a lot of work, right? So not having it in front, Stand on your left leg again. Draw your right knee up the way you did earlier. But this time, hands free. Try to lift through the right ankle. And reach down, catch your shin. Maybe bring the foot to the upper inner thigh, in which case you're going to want to squeeze the two legs together to keep it there. Or bring it down to the calf or to the kickstand. Palms pressed together over your heart. Stay steady in your breath, and if you feel steady in the pose itself, you can start to follow your gaze, maybe inch by inch, up the wall in front of you, maybe towards the ceiling, maybe all the way overhead. Go ahead and slowly release. Lower your foot, shake it out a little bit. Stand on the left leg, draw your right knee up. Stand on your right leg, draw your left knee up. I switched in the middle, and take your inner ankle up. If you hang out here for just a moment, that's actually pretty darn hard. And so you're working the muscles of the outer hip, external rotators. And then maybe reach down, catch your shin, squeeze. Maybe calf is a good point. Or maybe right here, this is called the kickstand. You'll press your palms together over your heart. Tree pose is a pose in which it's very, very easy to kind of like hang out in your ligaments a little bit. So I do recommend the same theme that I've brought up a few times in class, even though this is a gentle practice, it's a balance practice. We're looking for the qualities of plank. We're looking for a gentle isometric, drawing in of the belly, drawing back of the ribs a little, creating length through the spine, using the leg muscles as opposed to kind of hanging in them. And again, if you feel comfy, look towards the wall in front of you and start to inch your way up, your gaze, little by little by little by little, up the wall. If you get to the ceiling, great. Start to move closer and closer and closer to overhead, presuming you feel safe and confident here. Become aware of your breath, your inhale and your exhale. And then draw your eyes in the same fashion back in front of you. Slowly lower the leg, lower the feet. Toes touch. Rise to your tiptoes. Heels get as high as you possibly can. And lower down. Put your hands to the floor, or if you prefer, you can also use the blocks for this. Just come right back to downward facing dog. You're going to reach your right leg to the sky, and also come onto your right fingertips. Let me show this without the blocks. The blocks just give you less weight in your left hand. So right fingertips, right leg. You're aiming to create a long line here. Don't stress out your left hip in the process. Feel free to bend your left knee. Feel free to keep your right leg a little bit lower. But if you got that straight line, play with that. Maybe look forward. Maybe play with the idea of lifting your right hand on and off the floor a little bit. Go ahead and lower your right foot. Lower your knees for a moment. Take a breath in child's pose. And set yourself up for the other side. By the way, you can do this balancing down dog in a little bit of a shorter down dog, and that usually feels a bit steadier if you were feeling frustrated on the other side. Please lift your left leg. Find the plank-like quality. Come onto your left fingertips. Engage through your left toes. Stare at something that won't move. I usually look forward for this as opposed to at my feet. If you look forward, it will engage more of the back extensor muscles, the muscles in the back of the spine. And from there, it will also help to lift your back glutes. Maybe play with lifting your left hand a little bit off the floor. Please lower your foot, lower your hands, lower your knees, grab hold of your blanket. Set your blanket right back. We have a bit of a culminating pose today, and there's two really beautiful variations. So we're going to start back in table pose. Left foot goes off, right leg back, ending up here. And if you wish, you can bend your back knee, hitchhike your right arm, so kind of make a fist, point your thumb up, and maybe catch your foot from the inside. Catching of the foot is optional, but it's nice. And if you do catch your foot, push your foot into your hand. Lift your chest just a little bit. An option to, again, come into your left fingertips. Slowly, slowly release. Make a big rainbow with your body as you release. Shake out your hips a bit. Left leg back. Pivot on the right knee. Left arm forward. Find your balance point. And then bend your back knee. Reach back. Maybe catch that foot and start to push your foot into your hand. You're looking to make a bit of a teardrop shape with your body. You can look to the floor like I am for added steadiness, coming onto your right fingertips. And then once you feel good there, maybe start to spin up. Chest to the sky, gaze to the sky. Slowly release your foot and your hand. Get into that active child's pose again. And then straighten your legs. Walk your feet towards your hands. Blocks are up at the front of your yoga mat. And I want you to put your left hand on the left block. So as you lean forward, the block is a little bit in front and then off to the side of your left foot. And then bend your left knee. Reach up. Something that looks a bit like half moon, except with your standing leg bent. Stay here, or bend your back knee, catch your foot, and push your foot into your hand. You can straighten your right leg if your hamstrings feel warm enough to do that. Slowly release. We're going to shift the weight onto the right foot, right hand on the other block. And I'm going to show this from this direction too. So if I put the block to the inside of my right foot, I'm going to be a bit mechanically disadvantaged to spin. It just doesn't feel as free. So if I put the block kind of on the pinky toe side, I can actually spin open with a lot more ease, a lot more sukha. So try that out. Right leg takes the weight, right knee has a little bend to it. And then float your left leg up. Maybe bend your back knee. This is all optional, but you're just appreciating the efforts of balance, the muscular effort of bending that standing knee. Maybe straightening it, making sure you have a relatively light touch into your standing hand. And slowly, slowly release. Set yourself back to downward facing dog. Knees to the earth. Find your way to child's pose. We've done a lot of strengthening for the outer hips today, so I have one last shape to stretch that area out before Shavasana. Full breath. And your next inhale, take it forward to table again. Draw your left knee a little bit forward and tuck your right knee behind the left. The blanket, actually the way I had it might get in the way. Put it wherever you need it. But the idea is that you're going to sit back and you may not go to the floor. You may just stay here and enjoy yourself. You may have your block behind you, or you may settle your hips down between your heels. few full breaths. Shift it forward. Unravel your legs. And tuck your left knee behind your right. Settle your hips back. Just enjoy. So you might actually find that a higher angle gives you a better release, or you might find that sitting all the way to the floor is the one and only thing that will get to you. So find the angle that works. And then slowly shift forward. Release your legs. Set your feet off to one side, your hips onto the middle of your yoga mat. You can lower down flat on your back, or you can set yourself up on your side. Yeah. If you want, you can use your blanket, roll it up in a little tootsie roll right under your thighs. And simply lower on down. I usually recommend one more really simple symmetrical shape before class ends. And it might be as simple as hugging your knees to your chest, or a gentle happy baby pose for 2 to 3 breaths. Allow your eyelids to get heavy and to close. Slowly stretch your legs out. When you're ready, find your way into Shavasana. You can hug your hands if you'd like, for those of you on your back, behind your head. And give yourself just a little bit of a gentle traction